Heard of Q Broadcast? It's taking the world by storm. People are cutting the cord to their high cable bills and moving away from streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and others for something better. Q Broadcast. For just $60 a month, you'll get access to every channel you could ever want, including HBO, Cinemax, and Stars. And the best part? There are no contracts, no hidden fees, and you're free to cancel anytime. With Q Broadcast, you can enjoy streaming live TV, movies, and top series on up to 5 devices at once. Whether you're at home or on the go, Q Broadcast makes sure your entertainment is always at your fingertips. Imagine being able to watch all your favorite channels from anywhere, anytime, without any restrictions. We're talking about thousands of movies, hundreds of TV series, and a huge library of live channels, all in one place. And don't forget video on demand and pay-per-view events. Those are included at no extra cost, so you'll never miss a big event again. Now, take a second and think about your current cable bill. You're probably paying anywhere between $100 and $300 every month, locked into long-term contracts and hit with surprise rate increases. With Q Broadcast, that's a thing of the past. It's just $60 a month. No contracts, no extra fees, no hidden costs, and no price hikes. Why juggle multiple subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, and cable when Q Broadcast gives you everything you need in one convenient package? People everywhere are switching to Q Broadcast, saving money and getting more content than ever before. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and sign up for Q Broadcast today. Just $60 a month, no contracts, no hidden fees. It's time to take control of your entertainment and start streaming smarter.
We live in a world where men are told it's harmless. It's just entertainment. But let's stop lying to ourselves. Pornography destroys. It weakens your spirit. It dulls your drive. And it robs you of what real intimacy is supposed to be. Every click is a step away from the man you're supposed to be. We can't call ourselves leaders if we are slaves to a screen.
As someone that is prior service, I know all about discipline. And discipline isn't out there, it's within your mind. Porn rewires your brain, weakens your will, wrecks all of your relationships. It doesn't just stay on a screen, it invades your marriage, your confidence, and your actual purpose. As men, if we don't learn to discipline ourselves, we'll be ruled by our impulses. Now, it is time to stand up and take control before this silent war takes more than you're willing to lose.
Real men don't hide in the shadows of shame. We step up and we protect what's ours. We fight for our wives and kids, our own hearts. Twitter isn't just an app, it's a weapon. It's a tool used to break free and start living like the man that you're meant to be. The battle's here and it starts with you. You can stop living in shame and you can break free today.
Talon Real and Chevy.
Propagating truth in a world of lies. You are listening to the John H. Project.
Trust no one. Trust no one. Trust no one.
You found it. You're here. You're headlong down the runaway train that is the Anomic Age, and I am your host, John Age. Happy to be back with you once again in the dark side of the AM. I'll be your tour guide this evening as we take a somewhat satirical journey down the path of murder, destruction, mayhem, and the extermination of human life on this planet. A forced march into obsolescence thrust upon us by a global satanic death cult of pedophiles. Please check out anomicage.com if you've not already done so. It looks exactly like that. Feel free to like all the likes, subscribe to all the subscriptions, paypal.me/anomicage, patreon.com/anomicage as well. That is absolutely the best way that you can support me and this program and all things that I really want to do. So please check out anomicage.com, buy me a cup of coffee, the Cash App, Patreon, free iPhone app, free Android app, and all that, and so much more. It's right there at anomicage.com. So in case you haven't already checked it out, we got this. The show art for today's show, courtesy of yours truly. It's going to be entitled The Controlled Bunch. We're sitting at information breakdown segment 500. I can't believe we're at episode 500 either. It kind of blows my mind. But at least of the information breakdown variety, you guessed it, that's what we're sitting at. And we're going to cover exactly what I said we're going to cover this evening. We're going to try to shake out, hash out, and otherwise discern exactly who's who. Used to be a comic book when I was a kid. It's called Who's Who. It had all the superheroes, the supervillains, and everybody in between. I remember Batmite. I used to be a Batman fan, and it's a weird little cartoon guy named Batmite. That was, I don't know, kind of looked like the Noid, except in a Batman costume, but anyway, we're going to shake out who's who. We're going to cover a little bit of news, but not too much. So let's put the characters on the screen, shall we? And there's so many to get into. My goodness gracious sakes alive. Some of this is kind of obvious. I'll kind of start, in my humble opinion, with some of the lesser characters and move into some of the other quite obvious ones. And keep in mind, I'm suggesting, summarizing, or otherwise asserting that some, all, or maybe just a few of these characters are just that, characters. Controlled opposition. I mean, we saw this, what was it, like a month and some change ago, where all of these different, well, I won't say all, a lot of these different alt-right, conservative, new media, the podcasters, the, what's that irritating term that I just really can't stand? Influencers. That so many of them were, in fact, getting a mere $7,000 for their time and trouble to promulgate a narrative. And then, as the evidence really shook out, it wasn't just 7G. That was just kind of your starting price. And then based on how many followers you had, how much quote unquote influence you had, you got a whole lot more monies than that. So this kind of should have been self-evident to so many of you if you've been paying attention over the years, because it's kind of just like, it's just like every other alternative movement. If you really look a little bit under the mattress, maybe a little bit beyond the bed sheets, or maybe even in the closets, you're going to see that it ain't that organic after all. It's not that natural. It's just not something that sprung up overnight. It's that old morals and dogma quote, if they need a hero, one will be provided for them. Remember that? Yeah. And I think that's exactly what's been going down for so long, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, those of you who still identify as human. I've touched on this over and over again. I've looked into the lens of the hippie movement, the countercultural movement, the rock movement, and all the way into the punk movement. I hate to admit it, folks, but it looks like, smells like, walks like it might just all be a bunch of tomfoolery. Might just all be reminiscent of that Albert Pike assertion that, hey, when the slave class, when the plebs, when the scum, when the useful idiots, when the useless eaters, when they need a hero, we'll just pull one out of our hat. I mean, after all, Operation Chaos, COINTELPRO, this ain't nothing new under the sun, folks. It's been going on for a whole lot of time. It's kind of a false flag, but just through this sort of slightly different lens of an influence. I mean, we all heard the church committee hearings for the Operation Mockingbird. You thought that went away. You saw old Barry Soetoro legalizing, propagandizing the American people before he left office too. So why is any of this a shock or surprise to you? Let's start on the bottom, folks. Let's start ourselves on the bottom, shall we? Let me see. I'm going to pull this one up too, because let me go big screen, because I haven't gone big screen in a while for the graphics, and maybe it's warranted. We'll go big screen on the graphics. Hit me. Bing. All right, we will go bottom right. Bottom right for me. Bottom right for me, we got Tommy Robinson. And I want to really underline something here that it's, well, I'm just going to cover the people, then I'll cover the big enchilada later. Pardon me. Tommy Robinson, bottom right. Dear old England's own. The alt-right guy from England. I even hate using the word alt-right. Whatever you want to call this guy. From England that went to great lengths to expose the Muslim invasion of England. England belongs to me. Love that Cox Bar song. Well, it don't belong to any blancos anymore. It belongs to los colores. Woo-ha. Pero solamente los colores de Muslim. That's pretty much the main bread and butter of jolly old England today, as well as most of Europe too. And if you don't watch it back, that's going to happen to you here in Los Estados Unidos, folks. Absolutely. So Tommy Robinson, I didn't really have a lot of doubts about him when I first saw him on the Alex Jones show. First really saw him gaining prominence on that show. And then in this past year, it was one of those things where I always had a little bit of a that old Arsenio Hall thing, things that make you go So there was always a little bit of for Tommy Robinson. Something just felt a little off, a little shaky. And then this year, we find that he's a big fan of our greatest ally too. What a coincidence. It's kind of like a diversionary tactic, a false flag of the human variety. See if we can rage bait everybody into being more and more divisive. That's what I think all these people have in common. Rage baiting for division. Never unification. And I'm not suggesting that you can unify with some of these invaders. I just don't think that's possible because those two cultures are not one. They shan't be one. Okay? So just look at the Moors, look at all these Muslim invasions, look at the Crusades, all the left fruit bats always want to talk about the Crusades. Oh, it's ghastly, it's terrible. Well, it was warranted. Tough turkey if you don't buy into it. I just don't really care. But old Tommy Robinson seems to be at his heart perhaps way more of a fan of our greatest ally than he is of jolly old England. Strange. Because we first saw him, or at least I did, on the Alex Jones show. His family was being harassed. He was getting kicked out of his house, lost his job, the whole 9 yards. And then we find out he's just backing our greatest ally. That's strange. That's strange, folks. It's muy extraño. Let's go. We got some more to cover. Who we got at the bottom middle? Jack Posobiec. Jackie. Jackie seems to be trying to be the new Sean Hannity or something. That's just my take on Jackie. Jack Posobiec trying his best to do the new Sean Hannity, or maybe he's trying to do the new Charlie Kirk thing. I'm not really sure. Oh, yeah. Those of you who don't like me drinking water or smacking, please exit stage right or left. Just get off the, Anyway, so old Jackie seems to be problematic to me too, because he's just, again, something about him was always just unsettling. He seemed to be just blue blood Republican, neocon 2.0. Never really thought he was a real person. He was a mainstream person. I would never even consider him remotely alt or anything but mainstream. He was like Fox Junior, Fox News Junior, the JV team for Sean Hannity is what I call him. But anyway, what really sealed the deal for me with old Jackie was just this past week when he said, no, no, no. Don't you dare consider anyone even a possible suspect for the shooting of Charlie Kirk, other than who you've already been told to follow. We've got your patsy lined up. Just go with the patsy. Why would you go with anybody else? We've already told you who the shooter is. Go with the patsy, okay? So, Jack, that's what I got to say about you, buddy. Otherwise, let's move on a little bit. Excuse me. I'm going to check a gander at this joker one more time. Tyler Robinson. For some reason, I can never remember Tyler Robinson's name. Maybe that's because he's not a real person. That's my thought on it. Oh, I thought it was very ironic. I think it was just this past week. I mean, keep in mind, we have nothing in the way of even remote evidence for Charlie Kirk even being killed, except for the video footage and the people seeing it and everything else. We have no body being buried. We have no death certificate. We have no DNA, no forensic, none of that. It's just comedy, really. But I saw this in just the past few days. Tyler Robinson. Don't forget that name, John. You got to say it over and over again. Tyler Robinson, Tyler Robinson, Tyler Robinson. In the last few days, it came out that they had revealed somebody that Tyler used to work with, I believe. Maybe it was the same person he worked with, because every single image of Tyler Robinson, he's pretty much wearing the exact same outfit, which is not fishy at all. I mean, every picture looks as AI as possible. We know the text messages to his alleged furry, tranny, whatever, seem about as real as the Frosty the Snowman. And then we got this from a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was last week. I can't really recall the exact date on this one. A former worker, friend, or whatever of Charlie's was coming forward and talking about how he bragged about being such a great long-distance shooter. Yeah. Holy shnikes. But don't worry, Jack Posobiec's going, nah, just follow the narrative. And maybe when Hannity steps down, I can take the football and toss it like Sean, because he's cool. What else we got? Tim Pool in the house. Watch your mouth, Candace. Tim Pool in the house. Let's put this back on the screen. Tim Pool, Captain Beanie Baby, man. I swear, I've worn a beanie a couple times on this show. I feel like wearing one a little bit more often than I do, but I'm afraid I'm going to look like Tim. I don't want to look like Tim. We've all seen the clips now, I do believe. And what's up with this? This kind of irks me too. The new thing in podcast world is it can't just be one person anymore. There's got to be like a bevy of buffoons in the studio around him or whatever. And then we got to cut to like 5 different cameras of different boobs, chump suckers, and morons, in essence doing nothing. We got like one main character and then like somebody else typing around. Somebody else is like, yeah, you know, a whole lot of nothing. And I'm just like, what the? Are y'all getting paid? And why? It's real weird. But anyway, I believe this was a couple of days ago. I saw this one from old Tim Pooh. He was in studio and doing the show, and I guess some of his cohorts started talking about Israel. They mentioned the greatest ally by name and everything. And they were talking about USS Liberty and oh, Timmy Tim just, woo, He cut that out. He was like, just cut it out. That stupid Dave Coulier thing. He was saying that like in real time. Like, no. We ain't gonna talk about our greatest ally like that. I'm getting a check from these mugs. You know what I'm saying? You better just stifle yourself. And then was about 48 hours ago, he went after Candace with the vehemence, baby. He was just coming correct with some anger. Talk to her all bad and said some bad words and everything. It was scary, baby. Ooh, scary. Like that old Scott Hall thing from The Outsiders. Ooh, real scary, man. Real scary, Tim. I don't know if Candace was intimidated, but I was shaking, snapping my fingers and everything. It was crazy, Timmy. That was some scary stuff, buddy. Anyway, so he went on to disparage Candace over and over again for daring to question the narrative of Charlie Kirk and dare to question the narrative of the lone shooter. Oh, what's his name? Tyler Robinson. And then went on blast even further and was talking about how she didn't have any security except some white fat guy or something. And she's a billionaire. He's getting shot up. He's getting shot up Smollett style. The cops seem to have no record of his place getting shot up. But Timmy Tim's talking about some Smollett action, saying my place got shot up. She ain't even got security. She ain't suffering like me. She's not got the victim card like Tim. Scary, baby. It's scary, Timmy. All right, we got so many more that we got to cover, though. So hold on to your hats, folks. We're going to circle back in a minute. We're going to do that gin thing. We're going to circle back. All right, some of these are easy peasy, man. Some of these are too easy. Laura Loomer, she's Israel first, okay? That's easy. And here's another weird one, because so many of these people, I will say, got their prominence from AJ. Yeah. All this loomed mess and whatever. Nobody even knew what the bleep that was about on a large audience scale until she started going on AJ's program. Alex Jones, Info. Tim Pool was a little something for show, but Timmy also went on InfoWars, and I would suggest gained some followers from that one, to say the least. Because all these people can pretend they're a big deal, but I hate to say it and hate to break it to you. Oh, Alex Jones was a big deal before all these clowns. So, in my humble opinion, he definitely put a lot of these cats on the map. So, yeah, Timmy Tim went on AJ's show a couple times. Old Laura Loomer, all constant on his show many times, especially during the Trump regime version 1. But this is where it gets a little hairy, because there's a lot of other names that kept showing up that we now should kind of raise a brow about. Ali Alexander and the whole Stop the Steal thing. You can all see the same criminal records that I can. You had Milo on there on AJ's and on Laura Loomer's situation for quite a while. Now, old Milo seems to have turned his life around. I pray that's true. But the sad thing is he's got the receipts on all of you. So I'm not here to say he's the best of whatever, but I'm saying he seems to have a lot of receipts on old Laura Loomer and on old Ali Alexander. I got to kind of wonder, though, about that old bloody bathtub picture with old Laura and Milo. That's kind of sketching me out still, Milo. But, I mean, things are what they are with Laura. She's Israel first. She's now into press corps or whatever. She's probably going to run for office in Florida again. She's, seemingly very connected now to DJT. And obviously, she's Israel first. It could have never been Israel that had anything to do with anything, because they are our greatest ally. So in my humble opinion, what does that make you? Just wondering. Let's go across the pond. Can we go? Oh, man, I don't know which way to go. So many different directions here. Let's go Erica Kirk. My goodness. Let's go Erica Kirk. Whoopsie. I remember I caught a little bit of ire from people. Excuse me. Glad I got my cup of water. Anyway, got a little bit of ire from people because I dare to compare Tammy Faye Baker to Erica Kirk. I didn't even make enough connections, I don't think. I've posted online way more connections than actually went over in the show. But I mean, if you look at Turning Point USA, if you look at the money scheme, money laundering, and otherwise downright thievery of Heritage USA, that would definitely be Jim and Tammy Faye Baker's lovely palatial Disneyland for the Christians, right there on the Charlotte-South Cac border. This was a big deal in the 80s, in case you didn't notice. Jerry Falwell, he was in there. There was a whole Jessica Hahn scandal. There was Jim Baker doing some crying, I think. And then there was, of course, Tammy Faye doing some crying, too. So if you look at those old tapes, I even posted a little clip from one, or not a clip, excuse me, like a still frame from one, I don't know, 2-3 days ago on my Twitter. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, you better get on there at anomicage.com, at johnage.com, whatever. Anyway, so the connections are obvious. Well, I can't make this any clearer, really. And it's so funny with Erica because this is an alleged mother of two. Alleged, I would highly emphasize that. So ever since the death, supposedly, of Charlie Kirk, we've seen everything from the very fake Play-Doh hand video footage was like a couple days after the death, and then it just went into Maximum Overdrive. Great movie filmed right here in North Carolina. Maximum Overdrive of just the media blitz. Just like the Germ song. For days and days and days and days. And I keep asking myself. It's kind of funny. I was listening to Owen Benjamin a couple weeks back, and he was asking the same question of Candace. You know, Candace Owens, okay, you got all these kids. Who's actually caring for these kids? How did you actually have all these kids so quickly and lose all this weight and still just hit the ground running? Yeah, with your show and the tour and everything else. How do you do that, folks? And I think that's a very good question to ask a lot of people in these positions, because oftentimes people just sort of don't critically think and don't like activate their neocortex at all and just go, oh yeah. And I guess these people, perhaps some of them don't have families, don't have children, or just selectively choose to remember. Like, it ain't easy, folks. I don't know how else to say it, man. It's not easy being a parent. Especially if you're old Erica here. You allegedly got a couple kids. We got 2, 3, I don't even know. But anyway, since Charlie's death, she's been on Fox News countless times. She's done got a medal from DJT. She's gotten through like 2 or 3, I think. What the heck do you want to call them? They're not mornings. They're not wakes. Fundraisers? I don't know. It's just basically a big fundraising campaign where there's pyrotechnics and crowds and fans and a list of speakers, and everybody's getting some money, it seems. It's just real weird. And now somehow she's also published a book. I mean, people aren't really taking into account reality or how real life works. It's just not. It's wild. Even if you did none of that, just having the children and coping with their mental state and your mental state, following your husband dying, let alone being murdered on TV. But it doesn't seem to faze Erica other than having some crocodile tears, because Maybe because she's been groomed for this. Maybe because both of her parents are deep state. Maybe because both of her parents are somehow connected to DJT, connected to the military industrial complex. Maybe it's because before she was even 18, she had some sort of orphanage in Romania. And yes, of course, that orphanage also got busted for all types of ties, connections, and otherwise problems with child kidnapping and child trafficking. But then when she was done with that, or not so much, she managed to make it on a reality show. She managed to somehow win a beauty pageant. She somehow managed to also get a personal invite to that pageant by DJT. Okay, it's like a head scratcher. Like, this isn't normal life. But I guess, all things considered, that's why the general public just can't seem to figure out, like, this is all a hustle, a con, a dodge, and a scam. How is it she's wearing, like, the same jewelry everywhere also? It's also kind of peculiar. Like, the same obvious jewelry that looks very much Masonic or NWO, you know what I'm saying? Very weird, very strange to me. Already a millionaire going into this before she even married Charlie. Then she takes over as CEO within, like, what, 72 hours of his death? Oh, I forgot the $10,000 a plate gala dinner at Mar-a-Lago. I guess I couldn't make it. That's really the only reason I wasn't there. It wasn't because I'm not a titan of money, as in a multi-billionaire like these pieces of scum. And then the funny of all funnies, Erica now seems to be on this big campaign to make people believe it's real. It's real, I tell you. Really, I promise it is real. Let me see. Let me pull this one up. It's kind of funny, but I'll try my best. Let me pull this one up. I'll just let this one roll. You see what it says.
Come after me. Call me names. I don't care. Call me what you want. Go down that rabbit hole. Whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
You know, I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous.
Oh, it's righteous indignation, John. Why is she so vehemently angry at Candace? Because it seems to me she's the only one that's actually trying to figure anything out. And don't get me started. I already know the deal with Candace. She's a billionaire. She married some rich white dude from across the pond. She's got multiple kids that are allegedly hers. She allegedly had them. I don't know. I don't really care. Yeah, she had that whole doxing thing before she became a alt-right media personality. Wonderful. All I'm saying is if we're looking at this through the one lens that is applicable to this conversation with Erica, Candace actually seems to be doing something right. She actually seems to be going after and trying to uncover the real perpetrators, because it sure as bleep ain't Tyler Robinson. I believe Tyler Robinson did this, kind of like I believe the gingerbread man's going to kick in my door and throw chocolate chip cookies in my mouth. It's B to the S. And we already know that the very obvious connections with Charlie Kirk and our greatest ally. We heard that as soon as the incident occurred virtually, that it seemed to me like old Charles was about to break ties with a lot of people. And what does that really mean? That means a lot of people are going to be swayed away from our greatest ally. That means they wouldn't have the new incarnation of the neocon morons, the new incarnation of the blue blood Republicans, the new incarnation of kissing the ring of the military industrial complex and urinating away countless billions to every Tom, Dick, and Harry across the pond, every third world despot. For some reason, Charlie seemed to have been waking up to that. But wait, there's more, because this was just kind of funny. Let's see if we can find the Freudian slip here. Let's see if we can find it. I don't know what the heck is going on here. There we go. Here we go. Listen, escucha clase.
Virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system.
What was that? That seems crazy, Erica.
Virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system.
Ooh, the more I listen to Erica, the more I think she might be anti-Semitic. Just thinking. Better check yourself, Erica. You might get some hats visiting you, too. I don't want that to happen. Can't be even insinuating that our illustrious American system, our judicial system is compromised. I mean, I know your husband could figure that out. I think everybody in the room with a pulse, maybe everybody except the people on the screen, maybe everybody except these guys. Everybody except these guys can figure that out. These cats have no idea who the root cause of this is. All right, let's go up to old Talmud Tatum. Tatum also seemed like one of those cats. So it was just kind of too, I don't know. Seemed like one of those cats for a long time, like everybody else out there in the social media landscape, just about. One of those cats that just seemed way too crispy clean. Seemed to check all the right boxes, all the demographics, seemed to be that guy that the right needed. Remember that? Yeah. When you need a hero, one will be provided for you. Morals and dogma. So maybe he was just too right. All right. So old Talmud Tatum in the last couple months, he has gone full-blown yarmulke. He's gone full-blown lighting the menorah, kissing the ring, going to Israel with other black people and talking about how they were getting spit on a couple times, but it was no big deal. He just rolled right off his back because he didn't care. Israel, Israel, Israel first. Israel, Israel, Israel first. So now we know, or at least you should, that old Talmud Tatum is definitely probably getting some checks. Either that or he's gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Maybe koofy for Cocoa Puffs. I don't know. Anyway, seems to be quite an about face. Now it's only Israel. If you are a Christian, you've got to be for Israel. Kind of sounds like that Huckabee moron. You can't be a Christian and not be for Israel. It's just blasphemous. Totally blasphemous, isn't it? But wait, tenemos más. We got old Nick Fuentes. Nick. Here's the problem, Nick. It's not with your rhetoric. That's really not the problem. But if you look a little bit deeper, you'll see a lot of strange connections again. In my humble opinion, first saw Nick on Alex Jones' show on InfoWars. Saw him up there with Laura Loomer. Saw him up there with Stop the Steal. Saw him up there with the Ali Alexanders. He seemed to be one of those cats in D.C. on January 6th, which if you look at the video, you can see it. I'm not going to play it for him. He definitely seems to be saying, yo, now's the time. We got to get him. Strike now. We're ready. I'm paraphrasing Nick, so don't quote me on that. But basically saying, yo, it's game time. But he did not find his way in a cell or anything else. Nothing. That's peculiar. And he seems to, if you believe the narrative, I mean, it's one of those narratives kind of like Facebook. What was that stupid movie? The Social Media or something? I can't remember. The movie like from 10 plus years ago. The Social Network, maybe that was it. I don't know. It was a movie. It was a nice propaganda rollout piece that would have you believe that Facebook was started by a couple dudes in a college dorm and it just took off lickety-split. And then it was like two of the guys didn't get the money. It was only Zucky Zuck who got the money and they ended up in some sort of legal nonsense. Well, I guess if you just had no gray matter between your ears and you didn't look into this at all, you would probably buy the story, which is kind of what the movies are about. The movies are about propagandizing the American public. Black Hawk Down and all this mess. It's propaganda films, folks. Anything that's military in context, keep in mind they're using military gear and vehicles and the like, and they're having to get approval from the Pentagon. And there's a complete office in Hollywood that's just basically a government liaison office that the movies have to go through, and they have to get approved by the government. So I say all that to say this. Look into LifeLog, a CIA operation that just so happened to exist prior to Facebook. And it was online and went offline when? The exact same day and time that Facebook went online. It was a CIA data collecting tool. It was an op. It was a trial run to see what kind of data could be collected and how gullible and stupid the people were to put all their information on LifeLog. Or Facebook. Sorry, Zuck. Anyway. So I just don't feel altogether that comfortable with some of these Alexander connections and some of these other people on the screen connections. I just feel like that's some sketchiness, Nick. And I do believe that a lot of what you do is exposing the truth. I'm not going to deny anything necessarily that I've heard. I haven't heard everything. I haven't heard every show. But a lot of what you say is true. And that's the problem with pretty much everyone on the screen. They'll give you so much truth, but they won't give you the whole payload. They won't do that Megadeth thing. Discharge my payload. No, they won't. So they'll bring you to the precipice of information, but they won't give you the real info. They'll just give you pretty much roundabout. It's pretty much right, but maybe not in a lot of very important areas. So I see it. A lot of what Nick is doing is really just rage baiting again, kind of rage baiting the younger generation on the right to really get angry and do something, I guess. Do something as long as Nick doesn't get involved, kind of like on the January 6th. And then he went head over heels. It's that old Go-Go's jam. Head over heels. To make darn sure that you knew that whoever killed Charlie Kirk was not Israel. I mean, goodness gracious. I think it was old Bibi who came out first and said, no matter what you hear, it was not Israel. Wasn't us. We didn't have nothing to do with nothing. And then the talking heads jumped right on board. I think they beat old Bibi to the punch because Nick and AJ both were like, it won't Israel. It was anybody but Israel. I mean, it could have been Tanzania, but it'll show on Israel. Looking like the cat that ate the canary, you know, looking like that Tweety Bird Sylvester, where Sylvester just swallowed Tweety Bird and he's got him in his mouth and he's all poofed out and he's looking around like, it won't me that just ate the Tweety Bird. It won't me, I tell you. Wasn't Israel. That's kind of why I give a lot of pause to Nick. And if you look at a lot of these allegations with some really bizarre, effeminate behavior, I'll just leave it at that. The videos out there, Nick, I'm not going to show them. I mean, the audience can see all that for themselves. Very effeminate, weird male behavior with other men. That's all I'm saying. Should we let's go one more time because you know what? Somebody wants to hear this one more time. Let's see if we can pull this one up. I'll just give you the short version because I do not want to hear Tucker laugh any more than you do.
You work in, and I used to work in conservative media, and it's all of them. It's everybody. It's everybody.
I know.
They're all faggots. They're all gay. All of them are gay. All of them are gay. Like everyone is gay.
I haven't said anything about it for like 30 years just because of my just general Anglo commitment to not get involved in other people's business.
Even though you're wearing a red armband.
It's so noticeable. I just don't know what clearly there's something going on here.
Okay, I can't deal with the laugh, Tucker. I cannot deal with the laugh, buddy. Just can't do it. which leaves one last person on screen. And this one pains me. It really pains me to say it. As I've said many times on the show, there are no sacred cows in my barn. But I got to say, I would be doing you a disservice if I put any sacred cows in my barn. And that includes Alexander Emmerich Jones, the one in the top center. So, AJ, I don't know what to say, man. He's one of these cats that I would definitely say was very influential on me early on. I don't think there's anyone in this quote unquote movement. Lagwagon's going to say, don't call it a movement. There's other ways of saying it. All right. So whatever you want to call it, very influential on anyone in the right, anyone in the alternative media. Anybody that kind of does what we do out here. Early on, for sure. But we're talking like pre Barry Soetoro Incarnation 1, I think. I started listening to Alex Jones. First heard him on Coast to Coast AM and then found him on the dials and so forth. Anyway, yeah, very influential, taking nothing away from what he has delivered to the table. But it's kind of one of those things again. There's so many things over the years that just kind of made me go, what? The Bill Cooper thing always sat funny with me because I would sit here and listen to him for years, and randomly someone would call in and address the Bill Cooper incident. Why did Bill Cooper hate you? Why haven't you had Bill Cooper on? And you know, what was the deal with you and Bill? And AJ would always turn to well, he was on the show one time and he cursed and I had to let him off the air. Which sounds pretty funny. I realize that was quite a while ago, but it sounds pretty funny now considering AJ is cursing all the time on his own show. It's just bizarre, right? Okay, so you can throw F-bombs and everything every other show here, and then you're going to say, okay, well, I had to let Bill Cooper go because he cursed on my show and he wouldn't stop cursing or something. And then you had Bill Cooper calling the 9/11 false flag right before it happened. And then you had AJ calling the 9/11 false flag right before it happened. And then pretty soon after that, Bill Cooper ends up deceased. And allegedly some feds or the police, I can't remember, feds, police, what have you, trying to serve a warrant and ended up in a shootout and he's deceased. And then for all practical purposes, Alex Jones becomes the new Bill Cooper. Those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, do some research, right? So that sat weird with me. And then there was this was on the internet for a while. I don't think it's on there anymore. I haven't seen it anyway for quite a while. But years ago, there was a protest somewhere in Texas. I believe it was in Austin. And the protest was already going on. And AJ, this is all just film footage here. This is pre-AI being mainstream. But AJ comes up and basically tries to take over the protest. And there's a lady going, but we're already doing the protest. You're welcome to join us, but don't take over the protest and make it your media op, which is what happened. And the lady and him end up going back and forth. And she's kind of going, why are you trying to take over the protest? We're already here. Like, you're more than welcome to join, but this ain't your show. This ain't like a promo for Alex Jones. And I'm a huge fan of the early Alex Jones work. I mean, I got most of the documentaries, really good stuff. In Game, great documentary. Police State, just tons of stuff. Inside Bohemian Grove. Goodness gracious sakes alive. There's one even predates that one on, oh my goodness, the Branch Davidian thing. I can't remember what that one's called. Wake Up or Waco. I don't think that's actually Alex Jones's official production, but he was definitely a big player in Wake Up or Waco. Really good piece of work. Anyway, so it all seemed to kind of go bluey in my humble opinion, when he stopped having any sponsors and basically made him the sponsor. Like, his show became the sponsor. And I'm not saying that is necessarily a bad thing, but the show definitely declined when the whole show turned into an infomercial. I mean, there was so many shows I just couldn't even watch them where it was just like, oh, here's the gold guy on it. Oh, here's this investment guy on it. Oh, here's this project on it. Oh, this other project on it. And it just became a big infomercial. So that is another reason that I was kind of like, what in the world? Like, I don't want to hear an infomercial. Come on. And I can try to rationalize that, saying, okay, well, he didn't want to have a bunch of sponsors. He wanted to run his own store and sell his own products. All right, I got no issue with that, really. But I mean, your show shouldn't be an infomercial. It should be an info war. And then we get into the election for DJT. That's when everything went screwy. That's when you had all these narrative wells on, most of which I've already mentioned, but more than that too, on your show, like week after week after week. And it was Stop the Steal, and it was Laura Loomer. Oh, Stop the Steal. It was Ali Alexander. It was Nick Fuentes. It was all these names. It was Tim Pool too, that would become household names. And I get it. You know, like trying to help other people up and blah, 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 blah. But I don't know if he got caught up in the Trump fanboydom or what. And you could definitely go back and look at his first wife. I've heard a lot of people say that was a handler. Our greatest ally connections. You can look at his current wife and just look at the information that's out there. I'm not even going to get into it because I'm not trying to make this big divisive show and get personal with people. I'm just giving you the known information. I'm not going to put family involved in it. It's like, look at the information, do your own research. But my biggest criticism is just the fanboydom for Trump. For, I don't know, 10 plus years now, it's just been the Donald Trump propaganda network. No matter how egregious the actions of Trump, there's very little pushback. There's very little criticism. Even the Steve Pieczenik nonsense during the stolen election DJT regime too. I thought that was just complete horsepucky. But yet it was still promulgated out there. And in my humble opinion, it just dulled the edge of anybody on that right bandwagon, made everybody look silly. And of course, the obvious elephant in the room, there's no criticism of Israel. He'll always fall back as default. Well, he had the USS Liberty people on 20 years ago. Oh, I did all this 20 years ago. I did all this 20 years ago. Okay, great. You covered the USS Liberty 20 years ago, but you somehow can't figure out the majority player that's connected to all this. That just seems silly, Alex. And that seems to make people question the legitimacy of all this. I hate to say it, but it's true, man. I hate to say it. And if you want to throw a middle piece in this whole charade, you got to put Donald John Trump right there in the middle where it says the controlled bunch. Controlled all the live long day. Pam Bondi is nothing but Bill Barr 2.0. Kash Patel, just still garbage. Dan Bongino, complete boulder dash. I mean, all these people. The press secretary is the same BS, man. Here, let me give you a rundown of what we haven't seen. Let's put this on the screen again. Yeah, this is what you're not seeing, folks. Collusion hoax, January 6th, Mar-a-Lago, Biden, all this. We've seen no arrests. We've seen nothing, folks. We've seen nothing. Did I put this video up here? I don't think I did. Let me see. I got to put this video up here. Just hold the phone just a second, folks. This is a hilarious video of this is a little ditty I made. I'm going to have to mute the audio because I don't want to get this thing taken down or something stupid. Oh, let's see if we can play it. There we go. There we go. They're playing the Kung Fu fighting song, and it's showing it's showing Dan Bongino because he's got so much free time not doing butt kiss, I guess, that he's up there doing this hilarious Barney Fife impersonation as they're playing Kung Fu fighting in the background. They're showing Barn doing his I'm a tough guy routine. Oh, look at me, I'm so tough. And then he got Dan Bongino over here doing his best Barney Fife. That's his best Barney Fife, folks. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you'll find that on all my social media, by the way. That's Dan and Barn trying to see who's the biggest tough guy. You want to throw some honorable mentions up there? Let's put Ye or what's his name? Kanye. He's honorable mention because you got to put Kanye up there because you can't forget this video.
I feel really blessed to be able to sit here with you today and just take accountability. I was dealing with some various issues and dealing with
I can't watch any more of this. This is too stupid. So Kanye, who had the Heil Hitler song, Kanye, who went on AJ's show too, with a stupid mask on and talking all this Hitler jive. I don't even have a problem with this. Free speech, do it. I got a problem with this, folks. I got a problem with this. What's wrong with these people? What's wrong with all these people? All these people seem to have a very obvious common denominator. Kanye went up there he went from Heil Hitler, him and Nick talking about how Nazis were great and Hitler was great and all that jive. Great. Free speech, don't care. I think the history is written by the winners. So is there some problems with the history of World War II? You better know it. History of World War I, undoubtedly. Civil War, Revolutionary War, undoubtedly. Vietnam War, Korean War, all the way up to the Gulf War. Oh, yeah. All sham jobs, all. The victor writes the story, folks. So you better know that's some bull jive. But now we got Kanye up there literally holding hands with some rabbi. And I don't even know what's going on. You don't even know if this is the real Kanye. That's what's so sick, man. Because the real Kanye don't look like this guy. I think it's kind of like the Trump deal where there must be like 3 or 4 clones of this dude just floating around. Because that ain't the real Kanye, probably. Who knows? He's holding hands with Rabbi about to kiss his hands or something. This is nauseating. Speaking of more nausea, get your barf bags ready because it just don't stop, folks. It just doesn't stop, folks. Here's a video of Marco Rubio and Israel's foreign minister, Gideon Rara, or whatever the bleep his name is. I ain't gonna play the whole thing, but just check this out. This is how cucked we are as a nation. We're meeting with some boob from a foreign nation. We've got to come out there and put their flag out there. Oh, little photo op. Oh, look at Marco. Oh, nice job. Oh, you did so good. Did we? Yep. Everybody bought the BS. Let's turn around and walk back now. Unbelievable, folks. Pathetic and unbelievable. Candace, I got to give you this one again. He'll give some Candace.
Are American politicians able to act on behalf of a foreign nation against its own citizens and not be considered treasonous? Because everything is fake and gay.
Bingo!
And we obviously have this whole idea in America as a meritocracy, anybody can make it, is completely fictitious. Bloodlines are ruling the world. That's kind of been my conclusion after this year.
Because everything is fake and gay. I did a whole little talky talk piece on this job on Marco Rubio and Gideon Rara or whatever his name is. Because check this out, folks. It's funny to me that everybody's OnlyFans is terrible. America is the biggest producer and consumer of pornography. And they got these OnlyFans little hoes out here making all this money, making more than these sports stars. And they're big mad about that. Woo. Yeah, we're also the biggest producer and consumer of drogas and depression and suicide and everything negative under the sun. But here's what's funny. We know these hoes are hoes on videos on OnlyFans. But we can't seem to connect the dots between those hoes and these hoes. You see, these hoes are also hoes on videos. They're just making less money, and they are not on OnlyFans. They're on C-SPAN. They're on CNN. They're on CBS. They're on Fox and ABC too. These hoes are always brought to you free of charge. I mean, you're getting paid by the tax dollars, and they're getting paid by their little stipends to our greatest ally. But you can't seem to figure out that hoes are hoes, folks. No matter where you go, hoes are hoes. Some people just haven't figured that out yet. You haven't figured out that Marco Rubio is also a hoe? Come on, man. You are got to be sharper than that. Got to be sharper than that. We got any more? Oh, this is funny. This is hilarious. This is Kentucky's own Sarah Stalker. We got to talk about her, and then I got to get back to DJT. Let's do this real quick. Sarah's funny.
I'm going to be honest. I don't feel good about being white every day for a lot of reasons. Yeah. Because it's a point of privilege that I get to move through the world in a way that so many of my other colleagues and friends and family members of the community don't get the privilege to do.
It hurts me. Sure.
And I'm just a female, but just a woman, just a white woman. If I was a white man, I would be functioning from a point of an even greater privilege.
I got the best.
I think we're missing an opportunity when kids have a moment to reflect about how the color of their skin does and does not allow them to move through the world. Running to them and trying to stifle that and trying to say you shouldn't feel bad. So we don't want to ever expose you to something that is going to make you have to pause and have maybe some internal feelings. It's a missed opportunity for some really good dialogue.
Need a dialogue, maybe some internal dialogue, Sarah. Some internal dialogue about your true feelings, about your cuckdom and your superiority that you supposedly have over everybody else. Trump deal where there must be like 3 or 4 clones of this dude just floating around, because that ain't the real Kanye. Probably, who knows? He's holding hands with Rabbi about to kiss his hands or something. This is nauseating. Speaking of more nausea, get your barf bags ready, because it just don't stop, folks. It just doesn't stop, folks. Here's a video of Marco Rubio and Israel's foreign minister, Gideon Rara, or whatever the bleep his name is. I ain't gonna play the whole thing, but just check this out. This is how cucked we are as a nation. We're meeting with some boob from a foreign nation. We've got to come out there and put their flag out there. Oh, little photo op. Oh, look at Marco. Oh, nice job. Oh, you did so good. Did we? Yep. Everybody bought the BS. Let's turn around and walk back now. Unbelievable, folks. Pathetic and unbelievable. Candace, I got to give you this one again. Here, give some Candace.
Are American politicians able to act on behalf of a foreign nation against its own citizens and not be considered treasonous? Because everything is fake and gay.
Bingo!
And we obviously have this whole idea in America as a meritocracy, anybody can make it, is completely fictitious. Bloodlines are ruling the world. That's kind of been my conclusion after this year.
Because everything is fake and gay. I did a whole little talky talk piece on this job on Marco Rubio and Gideon Rara, or whatever his name is. Because check this out, folks. It's funny to me that everybody's OnlyFans is terrible. America is the biggest producer and consumer of pornography. And they got these OnlyFans little hoes out here making all this money, making more than these sports stars. And they're big mad about that. Woo. Yeah, we're also the biggest producer and consumer of drogas and depression and suicide and everything negative under the sun. But here's what's funny. We know these hoes are hoes on videos on OnlyFans, but we can't seem to connect the dots between those hoes and these hoes. You see, these hoes are also hoes on videos. They're just making less money, and they are not on OnlyFans. They're on C-SPAN. They're on CNN. They're on CBS. They're on Fox and ABC too. These hoes are always brought to you free of charge. I mean, you're getting paid by the tax dollars, and they're getting paid by their little stipends to our greatest ally. But you can't seem to figure out that hoes are hoes, folks. No matter where you go, hoes are hoes. Some people just haven't figured that out yet. You haven't figured out that Marco Rubio is also a hoe? Come on, man. You are got to be sharper than that. Got to be sharper than that. We got any more? Oh, this is funny. This is hilarious. This is Kentucky's own Sarah Stalker. We got to talk about her, and then I got to get back to DJT. Let's do this real quick. Sarah's funny.
I'm going to be honest. I don't feel good about being white every day for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Because it's a point of privilege
so much
that
privilege.
I get to move through the world in a way that so many of my other colleagues and friends and family members of the community don't get the privilege to do.
It hurts me. Sure.
And I'm just a female, but just a woman, just a white woman. If I was a white man, I would be functioning from a point of an even greater privilege.
I got the best.
I think we're missing an opportunity when kids have a moment to reflect about how the color of their skin does and does not allow them to move through the world. Running to them and trying to stifle that and trying to say you shouldn't feel bad. So we don't want to ever expose you to something that is going to make you have to pause and have maybe some internal feelings. It's a missed opportunity for some really good dialogue.
Need a dialogue, maybe some internal dialogue, Sarah. Some internal dialogue about your true feelings, about your cuckdom and your superiority that you supposedly have over everybody else, but of course not as much as me. Soy blanco también, pero I'm a man, Sarah. These people are a laugh riot. All right, we got time for any more. We got to tackle the elephant in the room. Oh my goodness, I didn't tackle this one. We got time. Speaking of being cucked, we got Johnson and Jeffries. Jeffries too. Jeffries up there. Lighting a menorah in the Capitol. Man, there's a whole video of this, but it was like a 4-minute deal, and I didn't want to nauseate you or perhaps induce vomiting. unwittingly. Good grief. I mean, we're lighting a menorah. We got the cat with the hat and everything. And then we got hockey. We got Jeffries and this other clown. They're repping their yarmulkes and all that. It is crazy. I mean, just totally nuts. What else we got? Let's look at some numbers because people ain't going to believe this. Yeah, let's just look at this one. Why not? Okay. U.S. House passes defense policy bill, including provisions for Madagascar getting some money for their military. Yeah, right. What do you think? The Philippines, are they going to get a couple bill for their? No. Zimbabwe is getting some loot for this deal? No. I don't know who's getting some money. I mean, it's on the screen. I think it's our greatest ally getting some military aid. I wonder how much aid they're getting. I mean, this is crazy. The National Defense Authorization Act, fiscal year 2025, includes more than $650 million in direct U.S.-Israel defense cooperation programs. That's pretty crazy. That's a lot of loot. That's pretty crazy. I wonder if this includes the $9 million that we covered the other day. Oh, well, I mean, it's only a $600 billion military defense bill. Let's look at another one, though, because this one's pretty rad. The legislation reauthorizes the Ukraine Security Association initiative at $400 million per year. That was the one that I think was actually $900 million. So I was mistaken on the Jewish side of things. The state of Israel only gets $650 million. That's not very much. I mean, that's chump change, really. And then the Ukraine, I first saw this reported as 400, and then I saw that it was 900 million. So feel free to fact check me on the 900 million. But according to this article, we absolutely know that it was at the very minimum, 400 mil for the Ukraine. And the weird thing is, remember DJT was talking about how he was going to not give any more money to Ukraine? Oh, I forgot. And then he lied to everybody, or I guess just spun a yarn that the peace deal was signed. Maybe no, Zelensky didn't show up. Right? The peace deal was signed, and that there was peace in the Middle East for the first time ever. I mean, this is as big of a fib as the U.S. economy is A+++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++ so good. I mean, the U.S. economy is booming, folks. It's like the 4th of July in this mug. That's how crazy it is. But yeah, and now you're seeing and hearing the obvious. Zelensky's going, that ain't no peace deal, you bunch of yardhead, you bunch of rebbity-bebbities. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I was conflating the two big peace deals. So the first big peace deal that I mistakenly said that was the Ukraine, it was in fact Israel. That was the first one. It was Israel and Palestine. And that was the big peace deal that was signed, wink, wink. And then it was Bibi that didn't show. And then before the ink was even wet, dried, or even applied, the lovely people of our greatest ally there were already bombing the bleep out of Palestine. And then we had the big peace talk number 2, which was allegedly with Putin and Vladimir Zelensky, the PP playing piano guy. And old Zelensky's already like, get the heck out of it. We ain't doing that. Y'all are just silly. You ain't doing that. Why would he? He's getting some loot on the deal, folks. Remember, legislation reauthorizes Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, $400 million. La, 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 la. This is what I want you to think of, folks, when you're driving across the bridge and it looks like it's about to fall down. When you're going on those trains that aren't bullet trains, but the slow old school kind from 100 years ago, and the most rickety railroad known to man, that'd be the one we're currently living in. And when you have no job, when you can't feed your family, when you're having to take out multiple loans and put food on credit cards just to live, I want you to think about the billions and billions that we have PP'd away here, to there, and everywhere across the sea, anywhere but Aki. It's sickening, folks. It's really sickening. Anyway, I guess that's all we have for today. I think we've covered very aptly everybody in the controlled bunch, and we've covered DJT. He is the center square in the controlled bunch tic-tac-toe extravaganza. You can't do everything, but you can do something. Get out there, do your part, make a difference, and I'll be seeing you sooner than later in the Anomic Age.
Thank you for listening to The Anomic Age, a John Age project. For past shows, further info, and to comment, go to anomicage.com. That's ANOMICAGE.com. Till next time, thank you for listening to The Anomic Age.